have more degrees than a thermometer.
When you're engaged,
Stands for their interests.
There's a lot of
Your
planning.
daughters will be on your
I believe
list.
in mental health.
Sure that we have mental
We travel together on the path to intentional leadership, one conversation at a time. We go down a new road of insight with an expert guest who knows what it takes to navigate the opportunities and challenges of leadership. Why? Because they've already been there. So grab your compass and whatever else you need, and let's set out, leading the way.
Welcome back to Leading the Way, another month and actually another year. And we're starting with our brand new season this year with none other than Tanisha Reed, Coach T. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to help kick off the year. Thank you for having me.
I think that's the best way to kick off the year because, with January, always you've got the new resolutions, you've got the new goals, and this is perfect, especially for people who are business owners. And let's start with Coach T. Who is she? She is a business coach and sales coach, helping entrepreneurs to become consistent and confident at the thing called marketing. That's what she calls it in her Instagram lives and their business and social media. Based in Detroit, but internationally recognized, Tanisha offers customizable coaching programs designed to start, grow, or relaunch successful businesses. She has helped business owners to collectively generate more than 1 million in sales using social media alone. This is incredible. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I need to carry you around my back pocket. That was such a warm welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no, thank you, because you're going to be giving gems today, because I listen to your lives every time you're on. There's always valuable information. And I'm so happy that you're here because, the marketing thing is a mystery to some people.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of business owners out there who are doing this on their own. And they don't have the means to go out there and hire this big marketing company or something. So they're trying to learn, and you've been amazing at that. So before we get into the marketing and all of it, I want to know, how did you get started in all of this anyways?
That is such a great question. And I want to first start off by saying that for whoever's watching this, if we're talking to you, we want you to give yourself a little grace in this process. When it comes to marketing, marketing is kind of foreign to some people, right? And when I say it, I mean it to say you run your business, you're great at doing the thing that you do so well. So you're not expected to know everything at all times. How I got started is I was a serial entrepreneur. I was an entrepreneur since the age of 22. And I probably started more than 40 or 50 businesses collectively, right?
Wow.
And at one point, I maybe 8 years ago at this point, I thought my goal or my passion or my purpose in life was to help people start courses. And after talking to people, I realized that my passion wasn't helping people to create courses. It was helping people to start and grow businesses, right?
Mhm.
Because their passion was my passion. So I took that, put that in my back pocket, and that spiraled into what we see today, me helping people to do the things that I love and that come to me so easily.
Yeah, and I think that's everybody's dream is
Mhm,
is
mhm,
that wishing to actually do the thing they love and make money out of it, right?
mhm, mhm, mhm. Would you say that you're a serial entrepreneur as well?
No, I would not. No.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah, it's a new journey for me for sure, and I'm so lucky to have known, people like yourself,
Mhm,
to help with this journey. Because I mean, when you came to MCAN Connect and you spoke, there were so many lessons, from the teaching that you gave. A lot of people were so um appreciative of
mhm,
the events, and then these lives that like you said, they're doing everything to on their own, but they don't actually have to know everything because it's kind of impossible.
Ooh, that's the good way to say it. It's impossible to know everything when it comes to business. And I would say that's probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned with growing business.
Yeah,
This is outside of tiny marketing moves. I'll just say this: it's just
yeah,
building that team, understanding that you don't have to know it all,
yeah.
that there's other people who can assist you in knowing it all.
Yeah, exactly. And my journey in leadership development is the same way. Is that
Mhm,
you even, if you don't have to be a business owner. If
mhm,
you're a leader, a manager somewhere, and you have a team working with you, you don't have to have all the answers. Is
mhm,
all you have to know is how to guide, how
mhm.
to support, how to be there, and how to show up. And with that, I'd love to get into tiny marketing because first of all, let me ask the one of the age old questions. What is the difference between marketing, advertising, and sales?
Ooh. Marketing is, I want to say long term. It's a
Mm,
strategy. It's something that's going to carry you throughout the years.
mhm,
Advertising is momentary. Think commercials, think one post or a
mhm,
strategic reel or a Facebook ad. Is something that's only going to last a moment. Well, I shouldn't, with the way that the digital world is, it can outlast a moment, but it's something specific or for a certain topic. And
mhm,
then the last one, sales. Sales happens organically. A lot of times
mhm.
people attach sales to this scary topic, this big unknown, this, oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
hate
me.
sales. But organically, just your product being your
Mm,
product and you offering your product as a solution, you are automatically selling. So for me, sales
mhm,
is something that comes organically, and something that shouldn't be really hard for you to do, because once again, we're not talking to everyone, we're just talking to your target
mhm.
audience.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Well said. I'll tell you, this is why I raised my hand because I'm one of those people. When it comes to, I hear sales and I'm hearing like, "Woo, big danger coming my way."
No, and I promise you, people are organically attracted to you just off of the conversations you have and the
Mhm.
solutions that you present. So when you think sales, think solutions. Just wrap your
Yeah.
mind around, um, how can I position this as a solution for
Yeah.
someone versus a sale.
I love that. And it actually makes me feel so much better
Mhm,
just
mhm,
thinking of it
mhm,
that way. I love that.
mhm, mhm,
All right, so let's get into it. Tiny marketing solutions. I hear marketing. Marketing is one of those things where it's like if you don't know your stuff, you don't know marketing, you don't know marketing. And it's a
mhm,
huge topic. And it's
mhm,
one of those like kind of like sales. So
mhm,
tiny marketing solutions, how
mhm.
what are your thoughts on that? What are you thinking here?
Uh, Okay, so I want to first start off by saying I'm an introvert. I like to tell people that because I'm great at marketing, they think that, oh, you must really love people, you must really love sales, you must all of these things. And if I had to be honest, I would not use social media if I did not have to.
Mm,
If it wasn't attached to a dollar, then I would not be using it. So when I think of these moves, it has to be organic and authentic enough for them to be executable. And that's what I really mean by tiny, right?
mm,
Tiny means I can actually do this. Sometimes when we think of strategies and things, they're so big, so
mhm,
large that they feel overwhelming that I can't do this. So one of the first things that I like to say is you're not marketing a product or a service, you're marketing what you want your organization, your brand, what you want your community to be known for. So what is it that if people had to run off and tell someone else about you, what would that thing be?
mm,
And it shouldn't be attached to your product. Let me give you an
mhm,
example. Well, I'm gonna just use me. I
mhm,
like to be known for helping people to or helping entrepreneurs to get to their next level in business. So when you
mm,
run off and you tell your friends about me, you're saying, "Oh, Coach T can help you to start your business or help you to make money in your business." One of the first tiniest marketing moves that you can make is understanding that you will go farther faster if you begin to market the thing you want to be known for versus that product or service.
mm. Wow. Wow. Um, kind of like I read a book years ago. Oh my goodness, the micro script rule. And it talks about, and I don't remember the name of the author, but it's an amazing book. And it talks about packaging that message into something memorable, and more than memorable, something repeatable. That when you are talking to someone, what's important is not that they, you know, they get it, they feel good, but what's after that is most important, is that they remember and then they repeat it to somebody else. And the only way they can do that, if it's so eloquently put, that it becomes repeatable. And I thought that was so powerful.
That is so good, Nagam. That is so good, because one of the things that I find that most business owners or entrepreneurs, when it comes to marketing or using social media, is that they don't want to repeat themselves over. I said this last week, or I posted that last month, but Nike doesn't have a problem with continuously telling you to just do it. McDonald's doesn't have a problem with always telling you that it's sesame seeds on this bun, like all of these things. So you have to get used to being, or you have to accept, I don't want to say get used to, you have to accept repeating yourself, because you are absolutely right. That is one of the most, one of the highest pillars of marketing is it memorable? When they end the conversation, will they remember even the littlest part of what you said?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you use the example of Nike. Or what's the other good ones? There's so many, Coca-Cola, and you always see them. Yeah, you always see them on TV. You always see them, everywhere, pretty much. And one of the things that when you talked about Nike, you brought another question up that is kind of brewing, is I've heard a lot of people, in doing what you do, talk about the emotion that the service leaves the customer with, meaning when you're on a Harley Davis, is it Davis or Davis, the Harley, again, I don't know the the brand name, but when you're on that motorcycle, you feel confidence, I think the word was. Or if you're using Chanel, you feel pretty, or what is so what do you think about that? And do you help businesses create that sort of marketing where they think about what's the end results that the customer's getting out, that you're trying to get?
That's such a good.
That makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. That's such a good point too, because what I heard you say is, what makes you stand out? What's the lasting mark that you're going to leave on your customers? What's that I always struggle with this word, this differentiating, what makes you different than the person next to you, right? And when I thought of Chanel too, I thought of like walking into a Macy's or Lord and Taylor. When you walk into these stores, believe it or not, they have a signature scent. You walk in and it doesn't smell like the store next door. It has a signature scent. It's something that is leaving behind in your mind, like, oh, I like to shop there. It smells so good in there. Or they don't even realize that it's encapsulating their brain to feel like this is a safe place or a relaxing environment. So when we're thinking about these things and we're coming up with our marketing strategies, we have to think about what makes us unique. What is going to be the key things that's going to make us stand out? And sometimes these things should just happen organically. They shouldn't. Lord and Taylor doesn't have a sign at the front door that says, "Oh, we use a signature scent in our stores." You just know it, right? You just feel it because it's in all of their stores. And I want to say, how does this translate to marketing? You just know it because it's in all of your post captions. You just know it because that's all the things that you talk about. You just know it because when you brag about your purses or your community, this is the key things that you say over and over again. So definitely when you're building up a legacy, when you're building up the things that you, going back to it, what you want to be known for, ultimately our goal or our job is to create businesses that we can sell again. And the only way that we can sell them again, sell them for billions of dollars. I just saw someone today, they sold a a company for 400 million dollars, and now he's like one of the top highest CEOs in this company, but he started it. So it's
Wow.
what part of your marketing strategy is going to help you to create that legacy? I'm sorry, I feel like
Wow.
that was a tangent, but I remember
No,
that's
no,
no
that's
different.
perfect. That's perfect. And I want to go back to what you said about what's differentiating you. Here is a struggle that I hear in talking to, other business owners, especially people who are starting out. They have a business idea. They have this thing that they're really passionate about. They know how to do it. They've done it for years. Now they want to turn it into a business. But
Mhm.
well, the stopping, the barriers, wow, there's so many people doing it already. How can I, how can I be expected to sell when so and so and so is already doing this? What would you say to that?
Mhm. I just made a post too on Facebook that said, yes, you can sell even in saturated markets. And
Mm,
that means I don't want to be the now. No, me and you, we do similar things. We help students in similar ways. We help people get unstuck. We can help them maybe
mhm.
to grow their business. We help them to wrap their minds around leadership. We help them to do all of these things, right? But there's
Yeah.
things that stand out between what you want to be known for and what I want to be known for. And when you are operating in your knownness, I'll say it that way,
Mhm.
people are automatically going to gravitate towards you in a certain way. They're going back to Macy's and Lord and Taylor. They both sell clothes, but they're both known for two totally different things. One is more affordable luxury and one is more luxury, right?
Mhm.
So even though we're in a saturated market, they know what they want to be known for. There's plenty of other clothing stores that they can go to, plenty of other marketplaces that they can go to. But when you're clear on what makes you stand out from your competition, that's what's going to make people come to you over and over again. And I like to say this too. Sometimes we want to show up faceless, but people support people
Mhm.
before they buy a product or service. So
Mhm.
yes, we want to be faceless, but I want to say no more excuses in 2026. We are going to push ourselves to be uncomfortable. Once again, my name is Tanisha and I am a introvert. So I get I don't want to be on camera or I don't want my picture or my family out there, but there's ways that you can operate in your zone of genius even with showing your face.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm so glad you actually mentioned that you're introvert and you repeated it again. And this is what a lot of people say is that why I'm not very good at this social thing or the social skills or I don't know how to operate a camera and it's as easy as pick up your
Mhm.
phone and talk to it, right?
Like you take pictures of your family and friends all the time. It's just
Yes.
that easy. Yeah.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Now, in when it comes to social media,
Mhm,
and this is it's a beast. Social media is a beast. There's so many different platforms. Um, and it's out there, it's free. Now, before I started my business, I used social media for social, things.
yeah.
I posted, and then I also, did that for work too. I, had events at work and things like that that I used it for. But after I started my business, that's when I started kind of looking at social media differently. And then I feel like a lot of business owners still look at social media as the place to just post pictures of burgers that they just ate or something.
Mhm.
What do you say to that?
Mm. There is a lot of money to be made on social media if you use it right. Oh, because once again, I don't want to be here either, Jesus. But just knowing some of the basics of how to monetize,
Mm,
even if you're just posting those cute food pictures, there's still ways now, present day, that you can make money to that or from that. And I always like to tell people that when they say, I don't know what I want to do, or I don't know what business I want to start, I say, just start taking pictures of stuff. I don't care if it's
mm,
a picture of a mug, if it's a picture of your food. So we have to stop looking at it as it being scary and more so as it being profitable. Because to your point, even if I'm just sitting at home, I can still make money from some of the content. Think about what we're laying in bed scrolling when we're not working. We're looking at people cook food. We're looking at people clean houses. We're looking at people do all of these things. So definitely. But secondly, when I first got started, I was one of those people. I had just left corporate America. I was nervous about people seeing me doing this new thing. I was hesitant about people seeing my personal life. All of these things, the same things that go through your mind that makes you only want to post the food pictures, right? But what I've come to find out over the past 10 years, those people are not my target audience. Those people, the people that I am most worried about seeing my account are people who will never, ever buy from me. So when you think about using social media with strategy, letting go of assumptions and personal beliefs, you'll start to let go and understand that I'm here for the people who are here for me. And that's how you're really going to build your genuine, true, organic community.
Yeah, and I speaking of target audience was another thing that I'm going to ask you about, but so one of those things that it took me a long time to try to understand. I recently I had my Instagram account, my personal one, which is really, it's just there, uses my Facebook profile and pulls from it. It's just connected. I never actually post on it anything. And then when I started my business, I created a business page. And just recently, I actually made the decision to delete my personal Instagram page or account altogether and changed my business page from the IMCAN name that I had and the IMCAN logo into me, my picture, my name, and I see the
I just was going to say, I noticed that recently. Yes, I noticed it recently, like 4 days ago. I noticed it. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. And you and I are connected. And the reason for this is because I'm a student. I'm always going to be a student, and I've just learned about this recently, where personal branding, and back to what you just what you were saying about people supporting people, is that personal branding, building a personal brand actually outweighs building that business brand, because people will recognize and support people, but they won't recognize the logo or the company name. And this is why I did this. And the reason why I'm sharing this is I'm looking at I had like over 3,000 followers on my personal page, but I still deleted it. And in my business page, which I kept, I only had 500 something, right? And they keep going up and down. And before that would have bothered me. But today I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's filtering. That's what's happening. It's filtering, right? So speak on that.
I love the way that you just said that. I might have to borrow that from you a little. I might have to take that and put that in my back pocket. It's filtering. Yes. It's getting out old accounts. It's clearing out spam accounts that maybe found you on accident, and kind of it's clearing out people who said, oh, I didn't think this was. I'm not certain if I'll buy. All of those, the people who came on accident or robotically, or maybe just not want to be there. Those are the people that are clearing out or filtering out. But let me tell you why this is going to work so well for you. Because Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of the platforms, they only show your content initially to 10% of your audience. So as soon as you post it, they're going to try to see which part of this 10% is going to like, engage, save, look at it in some capacity. So I want you to wrap your mind around the people who are filtering themselves out. If they hang around and they are not liking, engaging, saving, sharing, or even staying on your content, it's going to tell the algorithm that this is not content that is worth seeing. So I rather clear out the way. I probably lost 1,000 followers last year. I rather, and the number does not matter to me, because I rather for my page to be shown to people who want to purchase, support, engage,
Yes.
fellowship with me versus not. So, but the same holds true because marketing involves emails as well,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So the same goes for unsubscribes on your email list, right? There's going to be a level of unsubscribes, people who've come and said, "Nope, I'm not in this season of my life anymore. I maybe walked away from that thing. I'm no longer interested in this thing." Business is business. It is not personal and it's not emotional.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do marketing, we have to take our emotions out of it and place the emotions of the end user within us. Have some empathy, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah, very well said. And I'm so happy you brought up email too, because the same thing happens. And again, old me would be like, why are they unsubscribing? Why are they
Nope.
unfollowing? But now it just means that I'm finding the right people. Finally, and it's growing the right way. That's exactly what I feel, because it's not like going down sharply. It's evening out every week. It's evening out. It's because I'm finding more people who actually find the content interesting and want to engage more with it. And I learned that from you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I was going to just say, just to piggyback off of that, it shows that you're trying, right? If
Yeah.
people are not leaving, that means you're probably not doing much. That means that you're not being your true organic self, or you're not creating content that is meant for a specific set of audience. So yeah, that's so good right there.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It came with the action, right? And it's too, I did also change the way I bring about content as well. And it became a little bit more, opinionated, a little more, this is what I think, and this is why I felt like, oh, people are leaving. Good. It's signaling something. It's signaling a move. It's making a change. So I'm kind of playing around with it too as I go and see how that's working out.
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
I'd rather for you to leave me before you pay me than for you to come to me and be a refund, a chargeback, or just someone that is hard. Yeah, right. Because they say how it starts is how it finishes. Like how you start a relationship is how it finishes. So if you already are hesitant about being here with me, it's going to trickle down into our working relationship. So I'd rather for you to part ways from me as an unfollow, as an unsubscribe, than for you to give me your money and then still have that hesitation and that remorse on the back end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would love for you to actually also just for briefly speak about engagement on social media and what it means. A lot of people they're kind of watching that engagement like a hawk. Oh, nobody liked my content, nobody commented on it, or nobody what do you what are your thoughts on engagement on social?
No, that's the perfect question, because engagement should not be valued by a like. A like is a vanity metric, right? A like is, I could just be liking stuff and scrolling. How the algorithm for all social media platforms, let me take a step back. The purpose of all social media platforms is to build relationships. And those relationships include us conversing, us hanging out together, us watching each other on lives or quote unquote TV, however you want to call it. It is meant for relationship building. So when you understand that these platforms, once again, I'm talking about all of them across the board, including email platforms, because when you throw in blogs and things like that, all of them are meant for relationship building. So we take the likes out. Relationships are comments. Relationships are direct messages, private conversations. Relationships are, I'm going to save this for later so I can come back to it and be able to pick up on this conversation. A relationship is, I'm going to send this to my friend because I know they got an opinion about this too, in
Yeah.
either a good way, a bad way, a funny way, a scary way, a thriller way, whatever way. But when we think about engagement, it should not be valued by a like. I would say the order of priority for engagement is kind of shifting now. It's changing. 2026 is bringing some stuff. Now they want you to comment a little bit more. So comments are at the higher end of the engagement spectrum. But then the shares, saves, and direct messages
Mm.
are now becoming prevalent. And then likes are all the way at the bottom. The likes,
Mhm.
you can even hide the likes, so I don't even get to see how many likes you got.
Mm, mm.
So when we
And
think about engagement, those are all important things. But one last thing I just got to add to it, it does measure how quick you are with your engagement. So it does matter how fast you are responding to people on comments, how fast you are responding to people in the direct messages. If you
mm,
go to someone's direct messages now, it normally responds within 8 hours
mm.
or whatnot, because it's trying to help position you as uh someone wants to be in a relationship with.
Uh-huh. Wow. What about watch time?
Watch time. That's how we know. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Because watch time is how you really measure all of these things. Watch time, we're gonna take a step back. Watch time wasn't always so readily visible. Within the past 6 months to a year, watch time has become where if you go to your insights on your post, it'll tell you your post watch time. The reason why I'm saying this way is because many of us are looking for ways to get monetized. And when I say for ways to get monetized, I mean bonuses. I mean just general ways to get paid out by social media. It is all monitored by your watch time. So a lot of us think that
Oh.
we got to have so many followers. No, you can have 2,000 followers and get eligible for bonuses because your watch time says that people value this content. Now, I think it's like a rolling 100,000 minutes or 100,000 hours. I'm sorry, 100,000 hours every 90 days. So that means today, if you're at 100K, but tomorrow one of your viral reels fell off and it doesn't have, you're at 60K, it's taking all of these things into consideration because it's on a rolling basis. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And then you're talking about people who want to monetize their social media content, not you're not specifically talking about if I'm a business owner and I want to advertise or I want to market my services. You're talking no, you're specifically for people who are using their content on social to monetize. Yes?
Yes, because even though we have products and services, we should still be using this platform in a way where we can get paid for it as well. So even as you're creating all of this content to support your sales on the back end, a whole nother level of passive income, whole nother level of getting money in the door while you sleep could be from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, paying you money to post this content. But understanding what do I need to qualify is with watch hours, because as you are qualifying those watch hours also tell the algorithm if this is something someone wants to see. So if I'm only staying on your content for a short amount of time, those watch hours is not going to support the algorithm in helping you to show up. So it kind of works in a circular motion almost, where if I'm doing this to make money from my content, then it is going to help position me to be seen. Then it will help my products to sell, and it will help me to create that organic community.
Yeah, and it may show your content to new people that because of if it's people are watching it and you have longer watch time, it's gonna start showing it to other people. And Facebook has been teasing me, okay, for the last I think year. So my content that I post is across the board. It's the same. I don't have a lot of time to actually create different content for different platforms. So I use the same, I recycle, I repurpose. And every now and then Facebook sends me a notification saying, excellent content, we've increased your what is it?
Your reach.
We're showing it to more people, is
Mhm.
what they're saying. And they did this about 5 times.
Mhm.
5 different times. Everyone now and then it does this. And I wonder, and I'm not, honestly, I don't have the time to go into analytics and see and kind of see the past content, past posts versus new posts, and if it's actually doing anything. And in all honesty, I've had with my business, I've had maybe like 1 to 2 interactions in all these years that I've been doing, the business. I basically haven't made any money from Facebook. I haven't had any money generating, revenue generating interactions on Facebook, even though it continues to tell me that I'm, it's showing it to more people. Instagram is not doing that though.
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
Have you had the
No, that's
same?
no. Well, if I had to say what my spirit was telling me to say to you, that means that you're probably not using Facebook the right way. Because even though I've been MIA, I can still use, and I'm one of those people too. Ooh, Nagam. I was one of those people 8 years ago. I would say, I'm not posting on Facebook. My target audience is not there. I could pull up videos where I would say this, right? But I only say that to say that posting on Facebook can't be the only strategy that you use on Facebook, right? Sometimes we got to think of so I post in groups, or I'm actively scrolling in groups and people are commenting on groups or posts that have similar interests. So I'll be in a group. Maybe someone else, one of my peers or my friends are they posted a need for a service. I often like to say that success leaves clues, and that there's money to be made wherever we look, and there's content to be made wherever we look. And if we saw what our peers are doing, like sometimes not in a moment of competition, but in a moment of clarity, I guess that's the best way to say it. I'll go down someone's feed just to see the types of content they'll post, and how they're interacting with the people that are engaging with them to get a sale. So yes, I love Facebook though, but 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I probably was the person that says there's no money on Facebook. But I would just challenge you to utilize the groups, utilize the business suite. The business suite will also tell you some of your analytics, even if you don't really care to see them, and which types of content that you should prioritize on Facebook. And then lastly, remember that Facebook is for old people. I'm sorry. I'm
You don't have
old.
to be sorry.
I'm talking about me
I'm
too,
in the
y'all.
same boat as you are.
So, I prefer Facebook nowadays over Instagram. And go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, I think it goes back to me knowing my limits and deciding on a platform, because I do have a small team now, but it's still it still I have to decide it. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs do the same, where they they start out going crazy over all social media like I did, and then go ahead and let
No,
you
no, no,
say
no,
what
no,
you
no. I
want
was
to
gonna
say.
say that's a very valid point. You just hit on a gem. It start where you are, right? Would you say that's one of the biggest things you've learned?
Yes,
Yeah,
100%. Yes.
yeah. You don't have to do it all. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I want to say earlier in the conversation, earlier in our talk, you mentioned that you grew up on social media, right? Like that you but we weren't using it for the purposes that you and I are currently using them for. I'm gonna say I was
Yeah.
the same way with YouTube and Google. I would
Mm.
Google and YouTube the life out of it. Wasn't coaches like us back then, right? So I would
Mm.
YouTube my way through it. And one of the things that I've learned is that, oh, this is good. The power of a coach, the power of you is that even with YouTube, even with everything that YouTube has to offer, I'm going to go try to apply those resources and that knowledge base that you're giving me, and I'm not going to be not going to be able to execute it because I'm not you, right? Because I
Yeah.
need a little bit of you to put on it. I need a little bit of you to make it work in my favor.
Yeah.
So yeah, just taking it all the way back. Not every platform is for you. Start where you are.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the biggest lesson.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say I learned is that, with you know your limitations, and once you know your limitations, it's crazy. Like a lot of us, want that dream of owning your own business and having that freedom,
Mhm.
but then you end up working 24/7 in it,
Mhm.
you know. And I
Mhm.
and I think one of the biggest lessons is, yes, social media is free, social media is out there, it's good for you to use, but not your target audience doesn't live everywhere. And that's the biggest lesson that I got. Not unless you've got the team, that's going to. And
Mhm.
that's the thing, Coach D. This is what I wanted. This is another thing. A, a lot of big coaches and creators, especially in the social media arena. And I follow a lot of people because this is how I learned what I
Yeah.
know today.
Yeah.
And what they do and what they say is they teach these things, and you find them in every platform. But I feel like they almost forget how it's like to be a solopreneur when they were starting years ago. And so they're really not speaking to the solopreneur. They're speaking to the person who's already made it and who can actually spend the big bucks and get the marketing team that they need. So I feel like I can't listen to them anymore.
Mhm. Mhm. And that goes with the systems. Like they're telling you these high-end systems, knowing
Yes.
good and well that this isn't the systems that they had when they were just starting out.
Yes.
They're telling you to go out and hire that team, not understanding that this money is coming out your pocket. All of these things, right? So I'm with you. I'm very realistic in the fact
Yes.
of you are your every role in your business, right? And that's why you are going to start where you are. You utilize systems and frameworks to meet you where you are. If I can just tell you one quick story. When I first started out, I just mentioned that I was looking to get people to take courses or for me to teach people how to create a course.
Mhm.
And that quickly changed, right? But when I was going through the process, I had maybe 2,000 followers, if
Mhm.
that. Um, I did not have a website. I didn't have a website until maybe 2 years ago. And not because I couldn't afford to get a website, but because I understood that I was just starting out. So I had to create systems and funnels that will walk people through at basically a no cost, affordable way on my part to help me to capture the sale. So there's somebody out there who's watching a coach who's telling them they need this system that costs $200 a month, plus you need this other system that costs $50 a month, plus you need these other systems. I want to tell you that when you are starting out, all you need is ambition, some discipline, and a little bit of clarity. And the clarity comes from one of us coaches that can help you to see where you need the steps in between.
Yeah.
There's definitely ways to do this thing, starting out in very small steps. And I'm just not talking about marketing, I'm talking about business in
Yeah.
general, where you can actually see real profit without always having to dig into your pockets.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And that's the thing I kind of also learned after
Mhm.
following, a lot of coaches who have made it to the billions,
Mhm.
and I don't think, again, I don't think they remember what it's like to be on a budget.
Mhm.
And and that's what we need, solopreneurs, people who are just beginning at in their journey. They want the thing that works, but also on their own budget and on their own time, because their time is really valuable. They don't have a lot of it.
Mhm.
And so what's going to work for them, what's going to make it happen for them. I think that's the most important. I want to go back to personal branding. Time is going real quickly here. Goodness, we have 15 minutes. Can you believe that?
I cannot.
I want to go back to personal branding, and if and I, again, this is something new that I'm learning, is that it's and actually I've learned it watching Daniel Priestley. He's really big on personal branding. He talks about this all the time, and it his advice is to basically start building your personal brand first before your business. So what does that even mean? What is a personal brand? I mean, like, when people talk about branding, they think logos, they think color schemes and things. What is a personal brand?
I think a brand is that memorability, if that makes sense. The thing that people will remember about you. And and a lot of times we will say a slogan is marketing, but I think that slogan can even be a part of your brand. It's how Target can have that red dot and that red circle with the dot, and that it's Target. It is that part of your organization that makes it memorable. And that can come in so many different ways, because I think you can build a brand without having a logo. Do I recommend that?
Yeah.
No. But there's ways that you can build a brand without having all of the glitter and gold, because you are already memorable. That's the best way I can articulate it. What would you say?
Yeah. I mean, I would think about, I'm taking you as an example. You are the introvert who talks, who's confident enough to come up and talk about social media, talk about marketing to people to help them out. You are known for helping small businesses. You are known for saying the thing that people are afraid to say. You're known to let me see, what's the other thing I was thinking about? You are known for being you. I think your personality comes out when you're when I'm watching you on your videos or your lives. You're not afraid to take a break during your lives and going back and rethinking, because you're I think your intention is to help. And I think that's your personal brand shows in what you want to do, what you want to help people with. And that's what I think people remember you for.
That is so well said. And I receive you. Thank you so much for loving me. I love you back. But no, I receive that. And so all the way down, because sometimes we're hesitant to show up, right?
Yeah.
But the things that make our brand unique are the things that we kind of shy away from most. And I like to call those things our superpowers, because that's what people are going to connect to. That's the person who are starting at the very first steps in your shoes, whether you have a product or service. That's what they're looking at. And I think you articulated that so well, that when we think of marketing, is how can you best show up as your authentic self?
Yeah.
And receive me, because I was just thinking about a t-shirt company. And if you're a t-shirt company and you show up in wrinkled tees and just come as you are, if that's the look that you aspire, there's other people who like to show up in wrinkled tees, shirts that look like they just came as they are. Those people are your target audience. Those people are going to be the people who say, yes, I like how he just shows up as himself, and they are going to buy that t-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. You made me think of what's his name? He's big in social media. Gary V. When you said the wrinkled t-shirt, that Gary V is the person that comes to mind.
Yes. And if he wanted to sell you a wrinkled tee or the t-shirt that he was wearing, you would buy it, right? Like,
you will buy it. Yes.
You will buy it and pay $70 for it, probably. Like, and not think of the price.
Yeah, and it's not the t-shirt. I think that they're buying is the feeling that it makes them feel, you know, I'm wearing a Gary Vee t-shirt, or like the maybe it makes them feel as confident as he is. I don't know.
Mhm. Maybe it makes them feel like they're supporting the environment. Maybe it makes them feel like
Yes,
they're joining a movement.
yes,
Maybe it makes them feel like they look like a millionaire because Gary Vee is a millionaire, you know?
yes.
So it's, yeah, you're absolutely right, because you just connected it back to the brand part. And that's how he will be able to sell it to you, because of those reasons that we just stated.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually thinking about this intensively,
Mhm.
recently, because it's something that I'm working on
Mhm.
as a small business owner. Is what
Mhm.
is my personal brand? What is it that I stand for? And I noticed, I talk about resilience. I train, people on resilience, resilient management, resilient leadership. But that's the thing, right? That's not the brand that I'm known for, right? And then I started, as I'm having this brainstorming, I noticed a pattern in
Mhm.
how I talk and how I come off, and I'm awkward, and I'm
Mhm.
proud of it. Things are not always um smooth sailing and flowing, and there's awkwardness in what I say. Sometimes there is, sometimes hesitancy, sometimes. And I thought, oh, this is so out of the bun. It's not out of the box, it's out of the bun. And it's, I was like, this is me. I'm going to show up as who I am, as the person who believes in this so much that I want to teach it to people.
Ooh, ooh. Can I just say, and that's why I love you so much. That's why I can sit and go back and watch your content, watch your videos, read through your emails, because it feels like a safe place. It feels like someone who may have accomplished more than and I'm speaking from a point from someone in your target audience, someone who may have accomplished more than I have accomplished. They are still showing up committed as themselves, getting through it. One day you made a post and you said you were sick, like you weren't feeling that well and you were pressing through. And I'm like, well, if she can do it with a runny nose, what's my excuse why I'm over here just laying down, Jesus? So, and that's what we love about you, and that's what is going to in 2026, this is what's going to like really really position you for
Yeah.
everything that you have in store, is that authentic ability to show up. We're grateful for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means so much to me hearing this from you. But let's do this. Let's close with this. Small business
Mhm.
owners listening to you today, and they're struggling with marketing their business. What
Mhm.
message would you give them?
Just do it. I probably said this the same message closing out most of the podcasts that I do, for the last past 8 years, and that is just do it. Do it scared, do it uncomfortable, but just do it. I like to say that the proof comes in the process, meaning once you start to try, once you start to just do it, you'll be able to see what things are going to line up for you. So you may not have all of the answers right now, but as you continue to go through the process, it will all be revealed. And I just want to say, Coke started out with selling only 18 bottles. But then they revamped, they moved out the garage, they did all of these other things, right? And they began to soar. So I ask you, do you have as much faith as Coke had?
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And you will not, this is what I want to add to what you said. You will not wake up one day and have the confidence to do something. You will not wake up one day and just be ready magically. It just doesn't happen this way. And for me, I try things just because of the heck of it. I want to see for myself. I'm this stubborn, right? You tell
Mhm.
me something, I'm like, let me try it for myself, see how that works.
Mhm.
And that really worked for me, because then I've got the data. Now, even if I
Mhm.
failed, I've got the data to show that this didn't work. So let's try the other thing. And that's how, the just do it. I love it, because you won't be able to collect your data if you don't do it, if you don't get started, and you won't ever feel ready. No
Mhm.
one will on this earth has the ability to make you feel ready. So just
That's
do it.
so good right there. That's so good right there. Your ducks will never ever be in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. I love it. It's beautiful. This is amazing, and I think we could go on for 2 hours. Um,
Easy.
easy. And there's so much more I feel like I need to ask you about, but this was amazing. Definitely. Thank you so much for all the gems that you brought in today to leading the way. And for those of you watching this later on, if you have those questions, those burning questions that I did not ask, go ahead and put them in the comments. And Coach G is super amazing at this, so much better than I am at answering questions. Thank you so much for being here, Coach G.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope this was valuable for you guys watching back. If you guys do have questions, I would love to help answer them for you.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. And next month, I am meeting with a colleague who is also a National Speakers Association member, Tracy Hightower, who's in innovative thinking in mission-driven work. And you're going to learn all about this next month. It was such a great start of the year having Coach D on. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, just do it, right? That's how we should end today.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
just do it.
I have more degrees than a thermometer.
When you're engaged,
stands for their interests, or they like.
There's a lot of
Your
planning.
daughters will be behind you.
I believe in mental health.
sure that we have mental
We travel together on the path to intentional leadership, one conversation at a time. We go down a new road of insight with an expert guest who knows what it takes to navigate the opportunities and challenges of leadership. Why? Because they've already been there. So grab your compass and whatever else